a lot of people here in the house.
Mm-hmm. And you know, your domestic security is extremely important to you in your life. You have possibly this, and I not looking as in depth into your chart as I would need to say this for sure, but you've got Mars, which is the planet of action and aggression and your drive and motivation. It's in the sign Cancer. And when your drive and ambitions are in the sign Cancer, it shows me that you're very hypersensitive almost about your ambitions and your actions. And you're very sensitive to criticism. Were you married before?
No.
This is your first marriage?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this, back in, I don't know if you can remember this, but back in November of this past year, there was a lot going on with your husband, with his family. There was a cycle that you were under where I almost want to say he had to learn how to fight, or you had to help him fight. And I don't know if this makes any sense, but it's just coming out right now because Mars and Cancer went through an amazing long transit from November up until March of last year. And there was a lot going on with your energy in the home life, and it had to do with your husband. Okay, does that make any sense?
Somewhat, yeah.
And this could have been your relationship with him. It could have been a stormy time that you guys had to get through together.
Mm-hmm.
And I won't dwell on that because you got past it. And now you're in a very expansive period, a very, very good period for you. Jupiter, which is the planet of luck, abundance, and expansion, is about to cross your ascendant or your rising sign. And that is basically how you come across to others. It's the beginning, your awakening consciousness. Jupiter crosses your ascendant only once every 12 years. And on September 7th, it's going to start moving direct again. And when that happens, let me tell you something, Stephanie, opportunities are going to be coming all over the place for personal growth for you that you want to take advantage of. Okay. During this time, the only bad thing that could possibly happen is that you can gain a little weight because Jupiter expands whatever it touches, and this is your physical body. You might be kind of sensitive to gaining weight for the next few months.
Maria, is it possible maybe I've somehow gotten some Jupiter lately?
I would have to look at your chart, Jim. I don't know.
I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. Sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I don't know how much Jupiter you're going to get on your waistline, Stephanie, but it's very common for you to gain a few pounds when Jupiter crosses your ascendant, and that's just because it's expansive. It wants to grow, and Jupiter doesn't discriminate. It just expands. It just blows things up. But the good thing, the phenomenal thing, is that your personal growth, your identity, your personality is expanding. It's shooting all over the place. So I'm not sure how this is feeling for you now and how this is manifesting, but is there anything going on in your life that you feel you're on the brink of something big personal change?
You know, I don't know. I do know that within just the past few days, few weeks, my outlook on life has become a lot rosier, a lot sunnier. And I'm not sure why, but just things are starting to feel really wonderful.
Well, that's interesting because usually you have a Capricorn ascendant, okay? So Capricorn is the most serious, sober sign of the zodiac. But Jupiter is in Capricorn now, and it's about to pass through your ascendant. So Jupiter expands what Saturn or Capricorn wants to restrict. So it's nice. You're usually someone who is too sober and too realistic, and you take things very seriously. And you might have been forced to grow up before you should have. So that's why you have this attitude, this outlook. Jupiter is helping you become more optimistic and helping you to see, wow, the sun is really behind the clouds. Mm-hmm. There really is good potential here. The other thing I wanted to talk about in your chart is that you have an extremely psychic chart. I don't say this to everybody. I've done actually a research project on psychic indicators in the birth chart. And you've got a couple of them that just pop out like crazy. The sun in your birth chart is very close to the fourth house cusp, which is, it's the soul, it's the roots, it's past, it's heritage, and it is opposing Neptune. Neptune is the planet of the psychic realm, the other worlds. This is a very strong indication of mediumistic ability that I see in your chart. And I don't know if this is something that you've ever explored, if you've had experiences. You've got that Pisces moon, so I know you're sensitive. I know that you're an emotional sponge. You're a psychic sponge. You soak up other people's feelings. And how has that played out for you?
Well, I can relate to it. In fact, when you said, there was a strong psychic tendency there, I knew you were going to say that. Just kidding. No, but I've actually been told, I was told that once by a palm reader.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I actually, sometimes I feel that I do, kind of know when something's going to happen before it does. So.
Mm-hmm. You have a very strong intuition. You actually have mediumistic ability, which you could explore if that's something that you weren't afraid to do, because it's dominating in your chart, very dominating. This is something you can make a career out of. And when I tell you I've studied the charts of some of the most world-famous psychics and mediums of our time, dead and alive, you have got a grand slam aspect that is right up there. Right up there. So I'm not just telling you something that you might want to hear. This is very, very valid, a very strong ability that you have. The thing with your Pisces moon, though, that gets in the way is you are very compassionate. Pisces moon is, they want to save everyone. They attract the victims to them. Everyone that needs to be saved seems to come knocking at your door. The thing with the Pisces moon is you don't want to be taken advantage of. A lot of times people could take advantage of your kindness because they mistake it for weakness. And you are definitely not a weak person, not with a Taurus sun, but you are a very compassionate soul. And you base your value, your self-worth comes from what you can do for other people. So you might tend to overdo it because it validates you and makes you feel good. And there's not enough boundaries. So if you were ever to decide to explore psychic work, what you would have to learn is how to draw boundaries. Because if you don't protect yourself and ground yourself enough, you can get carried away, and it could lead you to, wanting to escape. The negative use of Pisces energy is turning to alcohol or drugs or escaping. And if you don't do this yourself, or you never did it yourself, you probably attract those types of people to you. You just attract people who need to be saved. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you know what? You are the rock. As a Taurus sun and someone with Capricorn rising, Capricorn is just, as steady as they come. That is, everyone knows they can count on you. Even though you are compassionate and sensitive, you have a strength about you that people trust. And you've also got tremendous counseling ability. It's very likely that you have sought counseling at some point in your life. You are someone who isn't afraid to dig into your own soul, into your own depths, and you're not afraid to uncover your own pain and your own past. And that quality, not being afraid to do that quality enables you to help other people confront their skeletons. Okay, has that been a strong experience in your life?
Yes, it has.
Okay. And, like I said, this is just a glimpse. I want you to take this expansion that's happening after September 7th, and whatever it is in your heart that you feel for your identity, for yourself, this is all about you now. From September 7th until the end of December, this is a cycle where it is all about you. It's all about what Stephanie wants for her personal growth, what direction your life is supposed to take next. So think about it and realize that there are enormous possibilities out there. All you have to do is grab them.
So Stephanie, what do you think about your reading tonight?
Oh, I thought it was fantastic. It was
Go ahead.